On March 2nd, 2026, Boynton Beach Police in Palm Beach County, Florida, responded to a Publix supermarket where loss prevention had documented approximately 32 fraudulent refund transactions totaling over $7,000 executed by a customer service team leader over roughly 4 months. The legal analysis here turns on 4 distinct doctrines, each of which the state has satisfied with unusual clarity.
Yeah, Scott. Loss prevention for Publix.
Oh, it's Moscow.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Oh, it's Moscow. Yeah, you've seen me before.
Yeah, we made it before.
Alright, what's going on?
So I had an investigation. Basically, we have a customer service team leader who, over the course of 4 months, took just over $7,000 in cash.
Okay.
He was doing fraudulent refunds.
Okay.
And I got everything
in a folder?
I got a USB stick.
So what's on this USB thing?
The video this is actually in the USB, so you can print out that, and the video that corresponds.
Do you need this folder?
No, that's just.
So what's the video of?
The video are of the transactions of him doing the transactions.
So he's been fraudulent refunds, meaning like.
So he would go up to the register, act like he's doing a refund for someone, but no one was there.
Yeah.
And he would then go around and he'd pocket the cash.
He pocket the cash. Okay.
Yeah. So we interviewed him. So
where is he?
In that office over there.
He's in that office?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So just you got to start from the beginning because I need to write down stuff. So what's your name? You have an ID with you? Just run me through from pretty much beginning to end. Like how you caught onto it. Just run me through everything.
Okay. Can you come here and just close the door real quick? I'm sorry. There's no associate. Huh? Someone's in there with him right now. He ain't going anywhere. I just the associate's not convinced to go. You know how they're making big. So I'm not trying to be rude. It's just a lot more. No, so basically, there was a report that was run that showed a suspicious amount of returns that were done in the store. After investigating it, we found that he was doing the fraudulent refunds, where he'd go to the register, he'd process a refund. He would either go and he'd put it in a little blue pouch, put the money in there, and then walk over in the hallway and conceal it, or he would walk around the store after getting change and then pocket it. All the video is in the USB stick that does show. Basically, it's step by step of what occurred. You can watch it and see everything. For each transaction is listed. Yeah. And the printout for this is in there. So he admitted to it. He admitted to everything.
What's that?
14-10-4.
It's the original.
That's the original.
Copy.
So all right, so you got a report back of suspicious activity that you guys were losing money?
Yes.
Okay, and then you guys investigated it using the footage, and you found that he was the one. He was all right. So he would go to a register that no one was at, pretend to refund something, and then he would pocket the cash.
And there was a couple times where he actually, in between a transaction, because he was a manager, so in between the transaction, he would stop the transaction and do like a refund really quick, and then act like he's doing a cash pickup and take the cash out of the drawer and put it in the blue bag and then walk away. So I did it a couple different ways.
Okay. And then you're saying he would walk around the store and then either put it in a blue bag or pocket it.
He's a team leader. I apologize. Not a manager.
Team leader. Okay.
A team leader, customer service team leader.
Okay. And you guys obviously want to press charges.
Yes.
Okay.
He voluntarily admitted to what he did. He was honest. Came forth with it. And
all right, can you just raise your right hand for me? You swear to affirm that everything you told me is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you guys just walk me to him?
How you doing?
John.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name?
Schneider.
Nice to meet you. I'm Officer Winkles. This is Officer Moscow, all right? So I do have something to read you, all right? I'm required to warn you before you make any statement that you have the following constitutional rights. You have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions. Any statement can and will be used against you in the court of law. All right. With that being said, you want to speak with us? You want to let us know what happened today?
Yeah. He basically did the investigation and he told the truth.
So just take us through beginning to end, really. So what's going on?
Honestly, I just felt under pressure.
You felt pressure?
Was it financial issues at home or something?
Home and I got surprised that my lady told me she was pregnant. So.
Gotcha. All right. I get that. Look, my girlfriend's pregnant too, and money's tight, so I get it, but it's not the way you go about it. You don't shit where you eat, you know?
I understand.
So when was the first time that you did this?
Like I told him, I can't put a date on it, but I was somewhere in October.
In October, you start. Okay, so just take me through your process of like how are you doing it?
It was just like a refund. You process a refund, take the money, and put it in a little project.
Okay. Let's see. What's your first name?
Schneider.
Store. The store was asked questions today about the prevention laws. Front and special front. I stated I was doing fraudulent returns for at least 32 times.
That was from October until November.
You did about 32 times, you're saying?
That's the estimate that he came up with now.
32 times for a lease totaling of 7,000. I stayed in I walk up to the returning, grab the money, put it in a blue pile, walk to this. What is it? Walk to the scheduled pocket.
Walk to the schedule. Like there's a schedule that's on the wall. It's like right by it.
Okay, and what's that for?
It's for us to look at. No one comes around it.
Okay. Oh, I see. Walk to the schedule and pocket the money. And I would grab change to walking on. My girlfriend's pregnant. Okay.
The first doctrine is the private actor rule. Under United States versus Jacobsen, the Fourth and Fifth Amendments regulate governmental conduct, not private conduct. Publix loss prevention officers are not state actors, which means the pre-police confession obtained inside the manager's office required no Miranda warning and is fully admissible at trial through the testimony of the loss prevention witnesses. The second doctrine is custodial interrogation under Miranda versus Arizona. Miranda attaches only when custody and interrogation coexist. The officer administered the warning at the correct moment, immediately upon beginning substantive questioning in the secondary office, satisfying the objective custody test of Berkemer versus McCarty, and preserving the admissibility of every statement that followed. The third doctrine is waiver. Under Bergwis versus Tompkins, a waiver may be inferred when a properly warned suspect voluntarily responds to questions. The subject did exactly that, then elaborated on method, timeline, and dollar amount. Under Colorado versus Connolly, personal financial pressure is not coercive police conduct, so the subject's emotional state does not render the confession involuntary or subject to suppression. The fourth doctrine concerns the charging theory. Florida prosecutors pursued both grand theft under Florida Statute Section 8, 12.014 and organized scheme to defraud under Florida Statute Section 8, 17.034. Under Pizzo versus State, grand theft is a lesser included offense of organized fraud because its elements are subsumed within the fraud statute, giving prosecutors a fallback if the systematic, ongoing course of conduct cannot be proven.
So you understand you're going to be under arrest today, right?
I get you.
Okay. Let me see. Everything. Let's take care of that. Let's take care of that when we go back. Can you just stand up for me? Just face the wall?
Because you guys did this wrong favor. I don't understand. I already know what's going to happen. You guys mind just walking me out without the invitation?
How about we go to my car and I'll put the cuffs on you outside?
Yeah, that's
Sounds good to me.
Been cool with it so far, but not to take long.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Well, come here. All right. Let's go back inside for a second. Let's go back inside. Sit down. Okay. You stole $7,000 worth of cash, right? Okay. We're being cool with you. I'm gonna walk you to the car, and then at the car I'm gonna put handcuffs on you.
I got you.
All these other requests is not happening. You're under arrest.
I understand you. I get where you're coming from. It's just that, like, again, peer pressure got into me and I do it, which is not the right thing. I shouldn't have done it.
Doesn't matter.
Excuses.
Doesn't matter.
I just wanted to know, like, if you can walk me to the car because, again, those people are like family to me. I just don't want them to see me.
No. Listen, you stole $7,000.
I get you.
Okay. I understand that you're under a lot of pressure, but you f***ed up.
I get you.
Okay. all these different requests and stuff's not gonna happen. Can I see that pen? And don't try to take off because we'll tase you.
I'm not gonna take off, dude. Thanks.
Oh, I'm 10-8.
Thank you.
Yeah.
1627. Double seven.
Control with 1161, vehicle 4506, logging on
Go to the right. From the front. Okay. Put your hands on the hood. Alright. We're gonna. Yeah, you can take it off now.
Can I actually guys get in the front? That's not.
We gotta make
Sir.
I understand. You got your own wallet too?
I'm gonna take care of everything, right? Anything else?
That's it.
You gotta take that belt off. Put your hands behind your back. Oh, make it a little tiny.
I'm sorry. I did think you guys used that.
Grading the parties. The officers receive an A- for timely Miranda administration, independent review of the loss prevention evidence, and the discretionary accommodation on handcuffing that preserved dignity without compromising custody. Publix loss prevention receives an A for a prosecutor-ready evidentiary package. The subject receives a D because every post-detection decision, from the pre-police admission through the post-Miranda elaboration, worked directly against his own legal interests. The lesson is narrow and practical. Confessing to a private employer before police arrive creates admissible statements that no Miranda warning can later cure. Waiving Miranda and elaborating on the record converts a documentary case into an airtight one. The correct response to any custodial interrogation is a clear, unambiguous invocation of the Fifth Amendment right to silence and the request for counsel, spoken out loud and without qualification. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.